A light bulb went off in my head, and also something started to stir in my heart, because I looked back and I recognized that that was the same age that my brother was when he passed. Now, in the short 27 years that he was blessed to walk this earth, he lived a life of service. He gave his life in service to our country. No greater deed a man can do than to lay his life down for his friends. Dr. Martin Luther King also stated that anyone can be great because any one of us can serve. Now, I wear a size 16 shoe, and my older brother at the time, he wore a size 14. But the shoes that he left behind and the legacy that he left behind for me to fill, I couldn't fill those shoes. It's really hard because those three teams were the Carolina Panthers. I'm a Carolina boy, born and bred, guys. The Baltimore Ravens, which meant I could have gone back and finished my career as a Raven. And the third team was the San Francisco 49ers. Now, nobody knew at the time that when I was up for free agency, if there were three teams that I could have picked more so than anything else, it would have been those three teams. Those specific three teams. Tell me the odds of that. The odds have to be just like ridiculous. But now I went back and I fell on my faith. And I said, God, I know you're sharing this with me for a reason. What would you have me to do more so than anything else with my life right now? And we named that farm First Fruits Farm, because we said that whatever we grow in that farm, we're going to give the first fruits back to the community, back to the people that are in need. And as I began to dig deep a little bit further, I learned that North Carolina is rampant with food deserts and food insecurity. I started doing the research on the surrounding states: Georgia, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia. The food insecurity right here in West Virginia, 1 in 5 children don't know where their next meal is going to come from. That's a huge problem, guys. Next crop, I decided to set aside 5 acres for sweet potatoes. Now, I started doing a little bit of the research that just 1 acre of sweet potatoes could yield 20,000 pounds of harvest. So 5 acres, you're talking about 100,000 pounds. And at this time, guys, it's still just me and my family. And I'm thinking, hey, we're not going to be able to do this with just, 50 volunteers. How are we going to be able to get all of those potatoes out of the ground and to the people's hands that need them the most? And it was just like God told me, it's just like the field of dreams. If you plant it, they will come, right? What if no one comes to my aid or to my support? But regardless of my biggest fears, I planted that field. And in November of 2014, we had more than 500 volunteers that showed up at the farm over the course of 2 weekends. And we were able to get and I call every single one of you to pursue service, to pursue acts of kindness, no matter what the cost, even if it's a sacrifice to yourself. Because one thing that I can share with you in my experiences is that you cannot outgive, okay? The more you give, the more will come back and be given to you. One of the simple things that just gives me the most confirmation is when a person that I've never met before walks up to me and says, Jason, I know you don't know me, but we received some of the sweet potatoes from your harvest last year. And I had just been laid off by my job and my family was going through a hard time. And that food came in right on time. Love is the greatest currency that we can share with one another. It's also infectious. When I smile at you, you smile back. If I were to come out there and say, hey, free hugs right now, okay, well maybe one or two you might get a little creeped out, right? But hopefully someone will be like, yeah, let's spread the love, right? We're all in this together. And let's never forget that. Thank you, guys.